We're obviously here today with Nathan for you guys to talk to him about his forthcoming challenge for the European title to take place at Wembley Arena on Saturday the 13th of February. It's part of a big show which features 3 title fights and our Olympians as well as some of the best young fighters in British boxing. So it's as I always say, it's a good night for the boxing fans and plenty there for them. But for Nathan, it's hopefully a big step in his career. As you know, he's the British and Commonwealth champion, and he's now challenging for the European title. If he wins this, I think it'll put him into the number 2 or even number 1 spot in some of the organisation's rankings, and that will enable him to hopefully challenge for a world title this year. But before he does that, he's got to get through Brancaleon. As you're probably aware, his promoters, OP, won the purse bid for the fight. They didn't come up with a venue or a date. They've messed Nathan around for it must be at least nearly 2 months now.
Yeah, good.
We've had dates given, taken away, and the bottom line is it's been very frustrating. It ruined his New Year and Christmas. But anyway, we've managed now to secure the date for him. And as I say, I hope this is going to be the start of something big. I'd just like to say, I've read some of the bits and pieces in the newspapers over the last few days regarding Amir Khan, and I mentioned about loyalty. You know, this guy's, and maybe some of the fighters that are with me, he's been a sort of bit of injustice as far as they're concerned. Certainly Nathan is up there with them. He's been very loyal. When we had all the problems with Calzaghe, I mean, he nailed his flag well and truly to my mast, and hopefully we've repaid him in what we've managed to do over the last couple of years for him. And I do appreciate it. It's him amongst other fighters such as Tony Bellew, Smith brothers, Kevin Mitchell, and so I apologise to them because I wasn't thinking at the time about the guys who have been good. So anyway, he's here, and I'm going to put everything I can behind him to deliver him the big fights, not only this fight, but the big fights for the future. Anyway, he's here, so if you want to ask him any questions, go ahead and do so.
Nathan, would you?
Carry on.
Don't fight over it.
This is a time for all of us. The opponent, what do you make of the fact against he lost his last fight? Is his age, is it a case of him coming back strong? You worry about that, or do you think that maybe he has beaten?
There's a possibility that he can come back stronger after this last fight. He might be wanted to go for his old European belt again. But I think most of his losses have come against world-class guys. His last fight was against Bremer, who's the world champion now. So he's obviously a well-experienced guy. He's done the 12-round distance quite a lot. So he's a rounded European level operator. Whether he's world-class, I'm not too sure. But that's where it's my opportunity to take Brancaleon out and look good doing it, really.
Well, he's only ever been stopped once, though. You look at his record.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been distance with good fighters, and obviously he'll be out to try and maybe do an Amir Khan. We don't know, So we'll see.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen, don't worry.
What are his main weapons then? If people haven't seen him fight, what are the danger points of his style?
He's a good boxer. He's not really a big power puncher.
Yeah.
So I think he's the type of fighter who'll try and nick the rounds. He'll try and box on the back foot and try and score the points and run. But there's not going to be no hiding in that ring. I'm going to hunt that guy down all night, and I definitely fancy a good stoppage victory.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll go the 12-round distance. My punching's increased. My punching power's increased in the last year or so, due to a number of reasons, and I'm just looking to make it 6 KOs in a row now.
Wembley Arena as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great occasion. We've got some great fights on. We've got a new crop of youngsters coming through. I'm probably one of the most exciting 22-year-olds in world boxing at the moment. So I've got an opportunity to showcase my skills in a great arena in Wembley, and we've got a good undercard as well. Very exciting fighters, and there's a lot of talent around now. So it's going to be a cracking bill.
What do you put your increased punching power down to mainly?
I think firstly, it'd be, you know, growing into the light heavyweight division. You know, I found my optimum weight now. So,
So just because you're physically getting more mature?
yeah, of course, you know.
You're not doing anything particular to increase your punching power?
Nothing in particular. I'd say if there was one thing, I slightly cut down the long distance running, you know, because that's long distance running is good if you've got the body fat to burn to lose weight, but I don't really struggle with my weight, so I don't need to do the long runs, which is burning muscle and taking away the power. So I've cut down the long runs and obviously grown into a true light heavyweight with maturity, really, with age.
Do you have trouble with sparring partners getting them, I mean?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit more difficult now as I'm starting to increase the power. I need to get a number of sparring partners in, but not many can, you know, handle the veracity of the sparring sessions, really. So
You could have to bring them in from outside.
yeah, sooner or later,
It's
you
going
know.
to cost more money, isn't it?
Yeah, that's no problem, you know. But
Vince, he's done a fantastic job. He's done a fantastic job, and I think, you know, he doesn't get some of the credit that he should do for what he's done. But he's done excellent with him, and I'm pleased.
Who do you spar with, mate?
you know, there's a couple of pros down in Wales, you know, who sometimes, you know, come up and, you know, I do a few rounds with. You know, they share the rounds, 4 rounds in, 4 rounds out. But, you know, it's not consistent enough for to take me to that next level, which I'm going to eventually.
It's a world level.
Yeah.
I mean, do you find that because of the sparring partners you've got, you're holding back?
Yeah.
Whereas
You know,
you need,
that's true.
you need someone to extend you in sparring, don't you?
Which at the moment, you know, I've got away with, and, you know, I've got through on, but the pad work with my dad, that's, you know, I've had good quality pad work, and the rest of my training has made up for the loss of sparring.
But there will, as I've said before, there will be more sparring because he needs it. There isn't any fighter that can. I mean, Nigel Benn didn't do any sparring.
Well, that's because of that crazy training.
Yeah, so he didn't do it. But having said that, you know, for a couple of years, Nathan was Joe Calzaghe's sparring partner when he was world champion. That was one of the reasons we were, you know, we wanted him to come away because keeping him down for Enzo as well, keeping him down. But now it's, you know, he's moved on to bigger and better things, and they've obviously got to
Vince, will you
focus on
perhaps in the future, as Nathan progresses, have to perhaps bring him to London to spar rather than?
No problem.
I mean,
There's no problem
probably more sparring here.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was an avenue,
if I mentioned, when Joe Calzaghe, he left Wales, he would only stay away for 24 hours and go running back again.
There's no problem. I think it changes as good as the rest. I think it will improve Nathan to come back with Jimmy Tibbs, one of the most experienced trainers. Yeah, and you know,
some good sparring.
yeah, with a decent trainer with Jimmy Tibbs, I've got a lot of respect for Jimmy.
I think a lot of my, you know, training is limited to obviously Wales at the moment because of my degree, you know, in Cardiff. So it's handy that, you know, I stay local with a good training camp, and everything's working spot on at the moment. So
You're doing
but
2 jobs at the moment.
yeah, and I promise you, there's another definitely 20% to come yet, 25%.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a lot more to come, and there's a lot more left in me yet.
You're taking over with him, to be honest.
You've already seen the least of me at the moment. So next year, you know, and
the same as
with
Frank,
the guidance of Frank, we can be and looking.
You finished your degree in the end of
Finals are in May, aren't they?
I've done in May, in May. So, you know, I think that'll work out with nice timing, provided I win well now that we could possibly looking for a world title shot
on the end of the year.
How much do you learn from sparring with Joe Calzaghe?
Yeah, it was a lot. You know, I learned.
There wasn't any holding back.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons we didn't,
you know,
like it. Nothing it should be happening.
Obviously, being a world champion at the time, you know, you're sparring a world champion, so you're gauging what kind of level you're on. And I was probably the best sparring Joe has ever had. You know, I was landing shots, you know, and he was learning off me as well because I was so fast. So, you know, it was good quality sparring, but a lot of it took its toll in the end. You know, when I was having my fights, because it was hard sparring. You know, I was sparring McInerney at the time as well.
I would speak up for Joe. I mean, Joe was Nathan's best sparring partner. I would say that. I would speak up very highly of Joe. He was an excellent sparring partner for Nathan. It's when Nathan used to spar with McInerney, Gary Rocket. That was when the sparring got unnecessary. unnecessarily.
And also is keeping him down at the weight. He
Yeah,
was a light heavyweight. You only got to look at the record. You see, I mean, for me, where I see that he was not struggling with the weight was when he fought Antonio Barker on the undercard and the Thomas and Mack on the undercard of Joe's fight out there. And you could see that, you know, he was boiling himself down and he needed to jump up a weight, which is, as soon as he jumps up a weight, the proof's been in the pudding, isn't it?
He'd run to keep Joe's weight down.
Yeah.
He'd run for Joe. Yes.
How old were you when you started sparring with Joe then?
I was
sparred with him.
I think I was just 18, just turning 19
Yeah.
when I
And he
started
was world champion.
becoming a full-time sparring partner. Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
did he take liberties or?
You know, obviously, if I caught him with a solid shot, then you'd know about it. You know, he'd step up the pace a little bit.
So
But
it got a bit lively sometimes.
yeah, you know, at times in spells, we got a little bit lively. But you know, I suppose it's all stood me in good stead for the future, really. And
It's grounded.
At least,
yeah, it's set up a good foundation for me now.
and it enabled you to know. I mean, Joe retired as world light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And you're intending to do that a lot younger than he did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely
So,
capable of that. And I think Joe
you
would
consider it a good education with Joe.
Yeah, and I think he'd admit that himself. You know, he'd say that. Yeah, I remember him saying to me one night, you know, when I'm 26 years of age, he thinks I'll be unstoppable. So that's coming from, you know, a top class world champion. So that's words, you know, of confidence.
Nathan, what's this about being inspired by Rocky Marciano? Is that right? The Susie Q punch?
Yeah, the Susie Q punch. You know, he's always had that. The right hook, I think it was, wasn't it? Or the left hook. So yeah, obviously, you know, being Italian, Rocky Marciano, I've seen a few of his fights. So obviously against Brancali, it'd be nice if I can come up with one of those Susie Q punches. Right on the button, so that'd be nice.
You still see Joe at all?
No, you know, I hardly see them now anymore. You know, it's obviously we cut our ties. You know, obviously if we see, we still speak as friends. You know, there's no need for boxing to ruin the friendship. But obviously I've gone my own way now, and I stayed with Frank, stayed loyal to Frank, and you know, my loyalty has paid off. You know, Frank has delivered the fights for me, and I've done the winning and look good winning, and that's the way it's going to be now for the future.
I was talking to Tony Bellew a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't seem to wait.
Well, it's going to happen.
You feel the same, don't you, with Tony?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, as a person, he's a nice guy, but obviously, when it comes to the boxing environment, he's got quite, you know, he's quite loudly spoken, and he shouts out a little bit. So, you know, but if our fight's going to happen or not, you know, I'm not too sure. I think, you know, I'm about 6 fights ahead at the moment, if not more.
Sure.
And obviously,
but you'll accommodate him eventually, will you?
Yeah, you know,
18 months.
18 months.
That'll
be a biggie, won't it?
Big
18 months, you know, if Tony keeps on winning, do you know what I mean? He's got a few tests to go through yet.
Yeah.
He's
He's
not going
He's got to do you.
But you know, it's